today, when we are crossing the line between the signs underneath the horizon and the ones over, I think it's a great opportunity to begin comparing and contrasting the opposite energies. So Aries and Libra are the two sides of the same coin, and every next sign we're going to be exploring in the following months, in the next 6 months of the year, will be a mirror image to a great extent to the one in the first half of the zodiac. We can compare Libra with Aries as opposites. We can compare Libra with Taurus as the two signs being ruled by the same planet, Venus. We can find commonalities between Gemini and Libra because of the common airy quality. When we get to Cancer, we see that as different as these two seem on the first glance, they're both cardinal. So we can find a lot of things that can motivate them in the same direction or make them understand each other. And it's a continuous story. So a lot of what Libra already has become is due to the journey we've traveled through the signs before it, from Aries to Libra. There is a quality of aesthetic appreciation there between Leo and Libra. Motivation is very different, coming from either an air or fire background, but there is something there as a common ground. These two signs are in a natural sextile, so they commonly invigorate each other. Virgo is a preparation for Libra, and it is always looking forward to Libra in one way or another, sensing it there in its future, in its reason why it's doing a lot of the things it's doing. When people come together, they become stronger very often. They can come up with ideas and realize those ideas on a much grander scale. And then everybody that participates in this can benefit from that. Up to this point, Libra, like the creature now called Libra, was before playing those other roles from Aries to Libra, more or less alone and left to its own devices. So you can be very skillful as a Virgo, for example, and being able to win a lot of things for yourself, but you're limited at the end of the day. There are certain things in life you can never touch and you can never take advantage of unless they are shared with others. And you then enter into a contract. You pay your own dues, you give your efforts, your adaptation exercise. You are sacrificing a part of yourself in the process, but then you're also given a gift back, or many, many gifts, because others all have something to contribute and they can give you the fruits of their own efforts. And this way, all of you become better off. So this is the magic that Libra is sensing. It's still not able to totally take advantage of it because it's only entering into that realm, and it feels like it's got a lot to prove the group that it's valuable. Probably the greatest task of Libra, to learn how to tolerate paradox, how to tolerate the constant tension between opposites without either being broken down by that or being stuck in one position without being able to move. Life is so complicated and so disappointing in many of its aspects. It's not always able to be beautiful, harmonious, and aesthetically pleasing. It's not always meeting us with things that only if we give them a bit of time and a bit of effort, they would inevitably be just and in equilibrium, but just the contrary. So if we're not able to be happy despite of this, we're setting ourselves up for a constant, maybe a lifetime of tension and bitterness. Maybe Libra sitting here in the boundary between the personal signs and the social signs is trying to act as a peacemaker between them, between all of them, not just the ones underneath with the ones over, but like the total mixture. It's trying to be a good manager and usually a successful manager of group activities. Because of this tendency to find middle grounds, it very often puts it in the position to be the best person to make decisions because it's not so willing as others are to act on its bias. Libra also has a bias, inevitably, but it's not willing to act on the bias. So it's willing to make compromise, to recognize that exactly because it's got a tendency towards a bias, that maybe chances are the other one will also have the same. So it is mentally, rationally sitting down and thinking about a solution. What could we do so that I give up a little bit from my side, they give up a little bit from theirs, and we're able to make something productive out of this. Nobody will be totally happy because nobody would have won, but the idea of the harmonizer is to make it so nobody loses. Yeah, I think this is the more important point. It is not really the sign of the drama of relationships and what happens, what unfolds after you're already mixing with someone. It is simply the first step, the desire to overcome your reluctance to sacrifice parts of your independence in order to share and to merge. Libran love is, fortunately or unfortunately, more mental than emotional. And it's good to know if you have to relate to this energy or you have a lot of it and you need to explain yourself maybe to someone that is expecting a different reaction. But as a Libra, most often you would like to please and you would like to do the right thing or to show love and appreciation. But whether or not you'll be able to do that will not depend only on how well you read the situation, but also on the ability to sometimes put reason at the back drawer and use a bit more feeling. But it's hard. It's really hard for this energy. Libra is the sign of opposition because symbolically it corresponds to a full moon when the sun and the moon have traveled halfway, like here the sun has traveled halfway through the zodiacal year and are now standing opposite to each other, allowing a revelation, allowing a reflection. So most of the time, a truth can only be seen or something that you can't see on your own because you're in your head with your energies, with your perspective, can only be given to you by the opposite. So we all need, for example, people that have the quality of our descendant sign.